Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope I don't have knots on my teeth. What state am I in? Alabama. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. A week ago today, we were snowed in, dealing with migraines and all this good stuff. We thank God for another day. I want to wait for a lady. All right, thank you. You can let her contact us on Instagram. My assistant will give her the information. Miss in the sanctuary. Watch yourself. My assistant will give her the information, or you can call our office 334-341-4475, and they'll be able to provide. Well, same person will provide the information through text, or go to our website 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. It's very straightforward and easy on there. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Let me put on my glasses so I can see. Oh, thank God for sight. The weather was absolutely wonderful today. I mean, it was a bit chilly this morning, like in the low 50s. But by the time it got to lunchtime, but I had court, so I usually wear a camisole, and then I have my blazer or whatever it is. I love dusters. That's usually what I wear because I don't care for pantsuit, and no, that's the old school for me. But anyway, hi everyone. Come on in, say hello. Happy Tuesday. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale. I am an immigration attorney based in Alabama. I've practiced immigration for almost 10 years. Actually, it's going to be 10 years this year. Yeah. But we can represent immigration clients. It doesn't matter what state you live in, what state you are based in. Immigration is federal practice. So that means that an attorney who practices immigration law can represent you in any state, regardless of what state you live in. And if you need to contact us, our contact information is 334-341-4475. Email at website is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com. My website is really very straightforward, because when they were putting it up for me, like, listen, if I go on the website and I have to figure out where to click, I missed me with that one. But anyway, hi, Kingways. Come on in, say hello. If this is your first time, let us know. Welcome in to one of the most positive platforms on YouTube, because we come together every Tuesday, Thursday at 8:30 Central Time. That's 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And talking about time, once again, y'all need to check your consultation times before you say, this is lawyer show. I don't know what else to do. Please, I need suggestions, because we already have a post that is pinned to in our social media, that please note. And even though before you schedule, tell you it is in Alabama Central Time Zone. But without fail, every single day, someone is like, I'm online. She's not there. No, it's not that she's not there. You just came in an hour. Usually it's an hour earlier. Like, she ain't gonna be there because it's not your time yet. But so please note that when you schedule consultations, it's all times are in Alabama Central Time Zone. So I don't have that issue, obviously, with people who are who share the same time zone with me, like Texas, Illinois, what else? Whereas Louisiana, but most people who live in New York, Maryland. So those places you guys are going to be an hour ahead of Alabama. So just keep that in mind before you get to where that. Okay, that kind of thing, But anyway, come on in, everyone. Let's talk. Yes, the safe space is ask immigration questions, free general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. And once again, 334-341-4475. You just do that out of my mind. Please subscribe. We have a YouTube channel. We're trying to build an audience on that. Refer your friends, family, you go subscribe. All the social media platform is at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Midging. It's just this salt and pepper head lady, mostly salt now. It is. You see my hair in the sun. You're like, this is a lawyer. What the powder's in the lorry? Not even asking, but I thank God. You count it all joy. But anyway, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. That would be very much appreciated. Let's talk immigration. Okay. So on Thursday, we could not get to most questions. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Let's talk immigration through questions. That's basically our topic. Let's talk immigration through questions. Let's talk immigration by answering your questions. So let me just put that out there. General information. Like Emani asks, this lawyer no pay mafi work permit to expire film. To expire film, she share, although what in deny case. No. This lawyer no. Let's general information. As in, use at your own risk. You know how pharmaceutical companies say this is good for you, and then the fine print, and then the side effects will be so fast, like they speed up the video, you can't hear nothing, but they've already told you. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, if you need anything specific to your case, we have consultation options. 140 for 30 minutes, 210. 45 minutes, 250 for an hour. 30-minute option is running a special to the end of the month. So you've got till next week, Wednesday. Finally, January. Does anyone else feel like January comes and it drags on forever? Like like the never-ending month. But anyway, we've got a 30-minute option. We have a promotion, New Year's promotion for the month of January for 110 for 30 minutes, and that will end on Wednesday. So take advantage of that. Emmanuel has information, and it's not going to be an exception. But anyway, come on in, put your questions. So if you're just joining us, welcome. The way it works is generally, if I have a topic to talk about, we talk about it. If not, we talk, answer your questions as many as possible, given the time frame. So put the questions in the comment section, and then we circle around all platforms, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and like I said, it's nothing specific to your case. It's just general information, general nature, but sometimes people have been able to see that it's useful to them, and that's excellent. But so hi, Miss Savannah, how are you? Alrighty, let's go. Let's maximize the time, and please do not repeat the questions. I'm even appealing, because if you repeat your questions, I would actually skip the question. So that's what actually delays a lot, especially on TikTok. It delays a lot when I have the same question is typed in. I'm not kidding. Sometimes I see the same question like 12, 13 times. I will skip those questions. I would not even answer them. Just saying. So if your question is not answered, that most likely is because you have written it like 200 times. So let's start with, and y'all having a good week so far? Because this is like Monday together, because like you get a gist. Well, anyway, hi, Natalie. How are you? Hello, Mr. Taryn. How are you? I actually thought about you today. Hello, Mr. Lushala. If immigration asks to send in medical, does that mean there will be no interview? Great question. No. Short answer is no. So we had this wave last year, especially during the summertime, where they even said it that, send in your medical examination results, sealed medical examination, whenever you file your case, because, we may decide to waive an interview. And in that case, we have everything we need from you without having to, issue a request for evidence. And we were seeing that happen. So I want to say last year was the year had the highest number of waived cases. But then something happened. Something happened along the line. Don't know what, but I'm seeing more now that if, in spite of sending you a request for evidence for your medical, they still will now After that, schedule you for an interview. That's what I'm saying. And it has been both ways in the sense of those that I have attended or gotten someone to attend with my clients. It's been a case where there was something in the file that's, that sparked their interest and wanted to bring the couple in for, or even in VAR cases. But mostly marriage cases, they want to bring you in for questions. The review your file as something that stands out for them. Or in a VAR case, maybe something in your story, because you have to understand that with marriage-based cases, you're still dealing with good faith evidence and admissibility. In an example of a VAR case, the good faith part of it is taken care of by the Vermont Service Center. However, that is not admissibility ground. Admissibility is attached to your I-485. So if USCIS believes there's something that makes you that is going to make them find you inadmissible in spite of a VAR approval, then you most likely will be scheduled for an interview. Apart from that, right now, it's not whenever I would get an RFE for medical, I just tell my clients up front. A year ago, I would say, that's good sign. Now I don't get excited about that because I've seen that in spite of an RFE for medical, they're still sending interview notices for cases that they've already sent requests for evidence for medical. I know that's a long, explanation, but I wanted to give you much explanation as to what is going on and what maybe. And they're still waiving interviews. Don't get me wrong, but just sending in the medical in response to the RFE does not mean that they will not schedule an interview for you. Okay. Happy Tuesday. Good evening from Houston. How are you? What will happen to DACA and current DACA recipients in the coming years, knowing it's the election year, and how long is DACA renewal taking in 2024? Anything about processing time, you can go to uscis.gov/processing time. What is going to happen to DACA, we don't know. What we do know so far is right now there are no new applications that are being submitted or that are being approved. You can submit it, but it's not going to be approved because of the court order that's in place. So it's yet to see. And that's why it's important for everyone who is a citizen to go out and vote. There are some instances where local elections, not federal, not state level, local elections where you can actually vote as a legal permanent resident, but you've got to make sure you verify. It's important we all go out to vote this year because a lot is immigration policies change with every administration. So your vote is going to count whether you like it or not. So I guess it would just depend on who's going to be in the president in the next administration, and then we'll wait to see what happens really. But I can't what is the word I'm looking for? Predict the future. You're going to have to see. Happy Tuesday, Miss Gill. How are you? How long does it take to get prima facie determination? It can take anywhere from 2 months to 7 months. Can one get pregnant while waiting for a VAL I-360 to get approved? Now, disclaimer. No, that's not what I'm saying. So, general information. But nothing stops you from moving on with your life when you have a VAL case pending. The only thing you cannot do, until your VAL petition is approved, you cannot remarry. Once you remarry without your I-360 being approved, you have basically terminated your VAL case. That's the end of it. You cannot remarry. Now, can you have babies? That's to each their own. But having a child does not negatively affect your VAL case. Unless there's a reason to believe that you were in a relationship with that person, and maybe it would have a bearing on whether or not your marriage, which is the qualifying relationship for the VAL case, was questionable, but it doesn't generally do anything. It doesn't negatively impact the pending VAL case. You're welcome, Natalie. Fingerprint taken for I-485. Thanks, Honor, for. Oh, Mr. Jude, I sent you an email. Your work permit was approved today. Check your email. do you have to have witness letters in order to in order to well it's okay. MK, let me rephrase your question. I'm still a little school to some extent, so grammar is really huge for me. Your question is a witness affidavit or letter mandatory in order to have an approved VAR case, or it doesn't really, it's not contingent on that. So there is nothing that says that you have to have witness affidavits. Witness affidavits corroborating your story helps, but I've had cases, one case is knocking with Thank You Jesus that was solely based on an applicant's declaration. So they're supposed to consider all credible evidence. If I can have one or two witness affidavits, that helps my case. I love that. But sometimes you may not, and that doesn't mean your VAR case is going to be denied. Okay. I need to get a consultation with you. I have been waiting since 2021, VAR filing initial 45 in 2019, filed a widow's petition 2022. U.S. citizen spouse passed unexpectedly. No update still. You've got a lot going on, but if your VAR has been pending since 2021, you're just coming up on the 3 years. VAR cases take, thank you, Ms. Eleanor. VAR cases take up to 3 years. That is a precedent time. Unless you've got a basis to expedite, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just a precedent time. And I know we're not the most patient people as immigrants, but the truth of the matter is you've got to wait. There's no way around it. And I've got cases we filed in 2021 that are pending because VAR takes up to 3 years. That's just what it is. Now, I've got cases that are approved less than that, either because they're applied to priority date or because you did an expedited request. But either way, you've got to wait. You've got to wait. So just be patient. We've got to be patient at the end of the day. Okay. But if you need to go do a consultation, go on our website, @llawfirm.com, or send a text. Lydia helps me with she joins our live, but when I'm done, she responds to messages on social media. But go on our website, @llawfirm.com, and you need to get it yourself. I want to know if an immigrant is affirmed deportation and later released from detention, can still marry to change his or her immigration status. Sit down with a lawyer to answer those questions. If I-140 EB2 national interest waiver has been approved and no concurrent filing, can an applicant go ahead and submit applications for I-45 and 765 when the priority date is not yet current? No. Priority date has to be current, number one, and then that applicant must be in a valid status to even qualify to file a green card application. Yes, thank you, Ms. Abena. Please share with your family, friends. You never know who might benefit from this general but useful information. April 2024 will be my 3 years. VAR will drive me crazy. It is. But the thing is, you cannot complain about something you already know before you get into it. That's the way I see it. You already know. I tell my clients it's going to take 3 years. So if you now tell me, hey, it's still a question, I told you from day one, I shouldn't have more gray hairs because of something I already told you. You've already been put on notice. I mean, it's not going to change because what's going to change? It hasn't changed. So if you already know going into that, I have a guy who his wife has just been held, and he filed their marriage-based case in 2020, consulted with me back in December. And he was on the point of moving because they had done the interview, they'd done the second interview, all of that. And he was going to, called and says, hey, we had a consultation. I was like, you've been on this for a while. VAR is going to push yet another 3 years. God help you, USCIS transfers your priority date, maybe shorten it to like 1.5 years or 2 years. But it is going to, it's a long waiting period. And as I'm glad he listened to me because he just emailed me earlier today saying his green card was approved. So imagine if we had switched over, and I'm one that will tell you, like, that's why I do consultation. If I feel that just hang in there 1 to 3 months if you can, because you may actually be close to getting a green card than converting, I'll let you know. But my point is, when I told him that, hey, you may be stuck here for another 3 years, that would make almost 7 years altogether. And it was like, okay, my jurors learn all that. And, to just get that email from him today, that was really refreshing. So if you already know that from day one, it's not, you already know. Um, and yes, I represent immigration clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter what state you live in. Immigration is federal practice. So as long as you have a case and you want us to represent you, we'll be glad and honored to do that. And oh, great question, Hamber. Did you file? Okay, you do. So that's why. Well, that's one of the reasons why I always encourage to file the green card application, especially if you're married to receive your abusive spouse as a citizen, and so you're able to travel, you're able to work while your case is pending, because of the fact that it takes a while. Nothing specific. Yeah, if you need anything specific to your case, you gotta pay. If I never got a prima facie determination, should one be worried? They renewed my work authorization on the C9 category, but I'll just have to wait it out. I wouldn't say be worried. I just feel more comfortable knowing that I have a prima facie determination in my client's case. Once we get to month 6 and 7, and I don't have one, or client says, "Hey, Cecilia, we're now 7 months. We don't." I would email them because I want to know. I want to know if have you sent one? Are we expecting one? I want to know. So that's what I do for my clients. If you've got an attorney in your case, then ask them to email to find out why you never received one. But not receiving one does not mean your case is going to be denied, because a lot of people who get prima facie determinations have the cases denied. Okay. All right. Let's go to Instagram. Now go to TikTok. Oh, yesterday was my younger sister's 40th birthday, Simisola. So Dr. Simi, that's the baby of our family. I call her Sissy Yellow because she's yellow like nobody's business. Like, I am dark and she's yellow. She's not even fair skin. She's yellow, like she can light up a whole room. But that's the baby of a family. She turned 40 yesterday. Cannot believe that little girl that used to follow me around is 40. Mama of 3, a wife. Her husband is just, that man worships the ground she walks on. She is she's like my opposite. She doesn't like Wala. Not like I like Wala, but Simi ain't going to argue with you. She doesn't, she's not going to waste her time. You're going to argue with yourself. Very stress-free. She doesn't live a stressful life at all. If only I could learn from that. Hello, Mighty Smalls. How are you? Hello, Miss Adipa. How are you? Hello. Okay. Thank you, Anthony Sennett. The weather could be like this all year, and I'm telling you that I wouldn't even travel anywhere. Is it possible to speak more about the new policy on the F1 visa? Those on OPT that want to change status, I appreciate that. What's the question you have? Let's see. Thank you so much for your advice. I just came back smooth. I will be calling you tomorrow. Okay, I don't know. I can't figure out who you are from your username, but if you're my client, then okay, you can email me. If you're not a current client and we just had a consultation, then welcome back, and that's it. Thank you, Miss Evans. All right, let's see. Questions 9. Yes, bring on the questions. Okay, if an I-140 has, I already answered that question. How long does it take for immigration to respond to this? I submitted the paper on December. Submit what paper? Hi, Finance Shandy. Chalafia Lewa. My boyfriend is going to be filing for me when we get married. Okay. However, his divorce isn't finalized yet. My question is, can we open a joint account together before his divorce is done? Will that affect? It shouldn't affect anything in the sense of you're building your you're building your evidence for the immigration case. However, if he's in the middle of a divorce, I'm hoping it's not a contested divorce. If it's a contested divorce and he is now, because in my states, anything you still have while you're married is during the pendency of your marriage, the soon-to-be ex-wife can come and claim some of it. So I'm not even worried about you opening an account with him. As far as you getting ready for immigration evidence, I'm more concerned about him opening something while he's still legally married to someone who can claim something from that. That's my thinking. Okay. Can you have a client out of your jurisdiction? Yes, I think I say that every single time. That it doesn't matter what state you live in. Immigration is federal practice. That means I can represent anyone in any state when it comes to immigration practice. Immigration doesn't matter. Can someone that came in through F1 visa but failed to go to school due to one reason or the other get legal status after his I-20 was terminated? You've got to qualify for something. If you receive social on work permit and want to travel for an emergency out of the country, you can get a travel document. If you qualify and you're eligible for advanced parole, we posted a video yesterday about who is eligible for advanced parole. You want to go on any of our pages to look at that. But obviously, you want to get an advanced parole before you leave the country if you have a pending adjustment of status. The Samuel's got some beauty and brains in it. Thank you. Thank you. I want to believe so. But I always tease my parents. I always tease my parents that they, I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. So I'm sandwiched between boys. And I was a tomboy for the first 8 years of my life, whatever. I was a tomboy, big tomboy, like tomboyish. I had the same haircut with my brother. The only difference is I had earrings. That's it. And so I always tease them that because there's 4 years between myself and my younger brother, and almost 6 years, 5.5 years between myself and Simi. But when she was born, I say my parents took time to make her. Thank God for us. Well, they took their time to make her because she's gorgeous. My sister is, but thank you. She's absolutely stunning. Is it possible for someone having a pending asylum application since 2017 to expedite his family case, although we have been renewing our work permit ever since then? Is it possible? It's always possible to ask to expedite anything. The question is, will they expedite it? And you must have reasons like hardship, someone back home who's going to be a derivative beneficiary is in harm's way. It's got to meet one of the grounds for expedition. And if it doesn't, they will respond to you and say, we're not granting your request at this point. How long does it take for a U.S. citizen to file for his kids in Nigeria? USCIS.gov/processing time. Do you get called in for an interview when trying to remove conditions of your 2-year green card? It is discretionary. The same way same thing for the initial green card application, where they have the discretion to waive interviews. It's discretionary, then they can call you in and they waive interview. Let me say this about just to follow up on that question. One thing I'm seeing a lot of these days is whenever someone applies for citizenship, especially when USCIS waives interview in your 751 or your initial case, I'm seeing a whole lot more of them looking into your previous file, especially if you got your green card through marriage and now you are applying for citizenship. They will pull up your file and make sure that you were actually eligible and you are properly admitted as a legal permanent resident. An example will be if they question your divorce decree for any reason, they question the genuinity of the marriage, which was the basis of your green card, they may deny your application. And God help you, if your green card is still less than 5 years, they may start rescission proceedings against you. They're doing that whenever, if they schedule an interview for 751, they do that, and they did not do that for the initial one. They go back and review your file. If it's about citizenship, they go back and review your file, just so everyone is aware of what's going on now. Can my employer file an H-1B while I have a pending I-140 based on national interest waiver? Absolutely. Having a pending asylum and a green card now through marriage, congratulations. Can I cancel my asylum that's still pending? Yes, just write them and let them know that you now have a green card. You send a copy of your green card into the asylum office, letting them know that you now have a green card, and it may take a while, but they will eventually respond. Let's see. Thank you for always giving us this education. You're welcome, Miss Tammy. Okay. Can one file for national interest waiver with a pending affirmative asylum case? You can, but if you're looking to apply for green card based on when, if and when that national interest petition is national interest waiver petition is approved, keep in mind that a pending affirmative asylum is not a status. So if you've not maintained an independent non-immigrant visa throughout the whole period, then you're going to have to leave the country to consular process, because a pending asylum case is not a status. Is it possible to file for I-539, change your status, and I-140 at the same time? Generally, it is. General information. Generally, it is. Okay, let's go to TikTok and I'll see if I have enough. All right, let's see. After being a resident holder for 10 years and my green card is expired, can I apply to become citizen? So if you've been a green card holder for 10 years, why haven't you applied? Well, it depends on what country you're from, but generally you can. It's either you're waiting based on 3 years if you're in marital union, or you get your green card through VA, or if you don't fall within those categories, then 5 years. But 10 years, I would assume that you are already at that point. And the thing is, when you file for citizenship, I think there's a policy, don't quote me on that, but off the top of my head, I think there's a policy now where you don't necessarily have to renew the green card application once you have an N400 application pending. But generally, yes. I've replied my NOID for over 2 years. I'm yet to receive any update, but my EAD was renewed. So what's your question, Esther? Is it possible to change an attorney when you come to realize that your matter is delayed? If you change an attorney, you're going to realize that the delay still continues. There's nothing an attorney is going to do. You can't listen. Do you know how many times I wish I could just walk into a USCI's office and just tell them, like, hey, people, you can only like, what? Let's sit down and talk. What's going on? Like, do you understand how many people's lives you put on hold? Do you know how many times I want to do that? But guess what? It is frustrating that I cannot. So changing from one lawyer to another just because USCIS is delaying doesn't mean that it's going to get better. You may just be stuck with the only difference, you'll be stuck at the same place with a different attorney, unless there's something else that is causing the delay outside of USCIS. Thank you, Nana, for sharing. Okay. My I-1360 case was updated today, but there is no change still on case received. So what was the update? My husband got his green card from a previous marriage in 2021, but divorced. Can he sponsor a new wife? There's nothing that says he cannot marry, but the law says if he got his green card through marriage and it's still less than 5 years, generally he cannot file for anyone within the 5-year period unless he's able to prove that his marriage from that his marriage through which he got the green card was genuine in addition to the current marriage. Keeping in mind, however, that if you're not in any valid status, you cannot file for green card until he becomes a citizen. If you're able to overcome the double good faith proof, best practice is probably just wait till he becomes a citizen, and then he can file for you at that point. My interview was waived. My case was approved. Congratulations. When will they produce my card? Keep looking at your case status. It will tell you. Will you advise I change my lawyer if he's charged by DOJ for fraud? Okay, next question. Let's see. Okay, what to do after I replied no for over 2 years? Have you contacted USCIS? If you've already made contacts and calls to them and still nothing, then you want to look into doing congressional assistance request or ombudsman assistance request. Those are ombudsman is the supervisory level office for USCIS to look into what's going on. But 2 years to wait for a decision on a NOID, I think that's kind of like, that's overreaching right there. So you may be able to get that. And if all else fails, if you're at the point where you don't mind suing USCIS, then that's an option you have as well. Can a person apply for N400 again when previously denied for lack of good moral character? You would have to rebuild that good moral character. So if you're a civilian, it's a 5-year period. If you are a military member, it's a 1-year period, but you've got to rebuild it. Can you apply for asylum if you came on F1 visa but didn't attend the college? Generally, yes. If you're married to born American citizen, when it comes to filing, does tax matters? Yes. Someone stole my social security number. Can that affect my pending process? What do you mean? How affected in what way? Let's see. I-130 is received, still pending for the past 6 months. No response from USCIS. What do I do? Your case is within number of processing time. I think I-130s can take up to 15 months. So that's even if those who file, if you're a citizen. If you're a green card holder, it's much, much longer than that. So, y'all, let me say it again. Am I not Nisru? It's a long process, yes. But what are you going to do? Why would you get frustrated for something you cannot change? Especially if your case is still within number of processing time. If your case was outside number of processing time, I can understand. If it's within number of processing time, what are you going to do about something you cannot change? Right? Just my 2 cents. Is there a reason you did not respond to my first question? I'm not going to respond to that. That's something you sit down with a lawyer to discuss, not on general platform. I have a problem on my authorization work permit, misspelled one of the letters in my name. In that case, how do you change? You've got to write to USCIS and you have to send that card back to them and request that they correct the error. The process for doing that is actually on their website. But keep in mind, you've got to send that card back, and it can take them a while to reissue that card again to you. Is there an app I can use to check my case online? USCIS has a case status online app. And I think a lot of people talk about using lawfully. I think that's an option as well. But there are many, many apps by which you can check the status of your case. You just put in your receipt number. Let's see. Does it make a difference if myself or Congress sends medical expedite to MVC? You can do both. Nothing says you can't do both. I am a U.S. citizen. Is it mandatory to notify USCIS that my daughter, whom I filed for in 2020, is now married? Yes. It's not like it's mandatory, but here's the thing. Married daughter of a U.S. citizen has a longer waiting period for priority date than an unmarried daughter. If USCIS does not know or she plans to include her husband, obviously you're going to have to notify USCIS. She's going to have to deal with more additional delay, yes. But if you do not notify them, or if she's not bringing her husband, whatever the case may be, listen, these people can go to your country and find out about you, let alone in their country. If they find out that her category changed and she applies for an immigrant visa as an unmarried daughter, and they find out, which they always do, then that green card can be revoked. So it is advisable to make sure you do the right thing. Love your hair. Thank you, Jungle Juice. Let's see. Submitted I-589 by mail, got no receipt. Notice it's been a month. That's not too long. My marriage-based case denied, but just got VAWA case approved. Congratulations. Does my I-485 still valid? If your marriage-based case was denied and you never requested to transfer the 485, then most likely that was denied. But if you have your receipt number, then go ahead and check it. But if you never requested for them to transfer to your VAWA case, you're probably going to have to file a new one. I filed an I-90 for a green card renewal. It expired. Is that the right choice? Yes. Generally, I-90 is to renew your green card that's expired, not to remove the conditions, to renew the green card itself. Let's see. Can I marry after overstay of visa? Nothing says you can't marry. But so yeah, can you marry? So your question is, can you marry after overstay of visa? Anyone can marry. Visa has nothing to do with your marriage unless you're trying to tie that to filing eventually. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. I think how long does it take to get work authorization and advance parole when you file for VAWA? For my firm, it can take, we've seen anywhere from 4 months to about 8 months. Once again, USCIS.gov/present Hey, kiddo. Welcome, say hi. We just finished basketball season today. That's my baby, y'all. That's my handsome baby. Isn't he handsome? And he won. We're not moving to is it what it's called, playoffs or something? Mm-hmm. But we won. That's what matters. Is that the one I just got? Mm-hmm. Okay. You like it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Getting married soon. Can you enlighten me on how to go about it? Sit down with a lawyer to evaluate your case and have your questions answered. I'm wondering how long does it take for a U.S. father sponsor unmarried kid over 21? USCIS.gov/processing time. Dad overstay in the U.S. Can his U.S. citizen child file for him? He is still here in the U.S. As long as that child is at least 21 years old, then yes. So you're and your fiance, crypto way up. You and your fiance need to set up a consultation with a lawyer and discuss your options. Whether you should do a fiance visa or a spousal visa, that's not a yes or no. That's not what this forum is about. It's not to teach you how to go about your case. It's about giving general information. But if you want to learn about what to do about your case, then sit down with a lawyer to discuss that. Can you file in your papers immediately after marriage? It's not how soon after marriage. I think usually my concern is how long you dated before you got married. So if you met somebody in May and you married them in July and you file your papers in August, those are red flags. But if you meet them in May, you get married the next May, you did in a year, and decide putting your papers June after you marry, you've already given yourself a year to build evidence and all that. That doesn't raise a red flag. So just if that helps you to explain it better. Biola, what is your question? If you want to put it again, because I don't think I saw it. I may have missed it, but I don't think I saw anything with your name. Biola, what's the question you have? Can I go to the Social Security office to make the correction in the spelling of my name? You said it was on your work authorization, right? If it's on your work authorization, that has nothing to do with the Social Security office. That has to do with, unless your Social Security card is also incorrect as far as your name, they may ask you to see a corrected EAD. But if you're talking of the EAD itself is what the error was on, not on your Social Security card, then that's with USCIS, not with Social Security Administration. I sought asylum since 2016 till now. They didn't come in for an interview. They said backlog. What can I do? That's what the truth is. You can ask them to expedite if you've got enough grounds for that. But there's so many people waiting. It's not just you. So many people waiting. Is it safe to travel with advanced parole while VAL is pending? Nothing specific to your case. Generally, as long as your advanced parole is valid, an advanced parole is not attached to your VAL petition. It's attached to your pending green card application. As long as you've got that valid green card application and it has not been denied, and your advanced parole document is not expired doesn't expire before you come in, generally, I don't usually envisage any issues. Keep in mind, almost always, 99.9% of the time, if you're coming into the country advanced parole, you will be placed in secondary inspection just by routine. Nothing to be afraid of for the most part. Okay. All right. Biola, I still don't see your question. It's on both Social Security and okay. So if it's on both, then obviously but the Social Security office may actually tell you to bring evidence that USCIS has updated that on your card. But see if they would do it without that. But don't be surprised if they ask that. Do you think the EB3 filing for green card will move well in the next 2 months? I'm hoping. I'm about to file for my mom, and she's in the U.S. How long is the process? Give or take, it can take anywhere from 4 months to 8 months, depending on if USCIS. For the most part, most of my parent cases, they don't usually schedule interviews, but each field office is different. Your hairstyle is phenomenal. Continue to help the good people. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Let me go back here. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Adina. I got 4 prima facies. Okay. 5 of October 2023. Transfer. Okay. Got work permit. All right. This people discussing. Let's see. I got my work permit in 2023. My lawyer filed under C-31. Sorry, filed in November under C-9. Got January. Okay. Okay, this conversation. Yeah, don't forget we've got the New Year promotion going on, a 30 minutes option for $110. One longer time. It's all of that information is on our website. Thank you, Ms. Abena. Can a VOC get approved without prima facie? In all honesty, I haven't had any case approved that we didn't have a prima facie issued. It doesn't mean you cannot get approved, because a prima facie is not an approval. It's just like we've reviewed your case. If we're to approve it based on what we're seeing, it's approvable, and then we'll take a deeper look, because many cases get denied in spite of having prima facie determination. But I just haven't had any case approved that we did not, and that's because I always follow up. Even if I don't remember, my clients remind me now. He doesn't take anything to send an email, because I just want that peace of mind that I have it, they have it, and that case has been at least reviewed initially. My asylum case is terminated, and I have EAD for 5 years. Cannot continue working. Have you seen the video I did about asking me if you can continue working when you have a terminated or canceled application? Yeah, go take a look at that. My parents filed their I-539 extension, but it's still pending, and the current status expires this week. What does that mean for them? I am eligible to apply for citizenship this March. If they already submitted the extension before their I-94, obviously they already did before their I-94 expires this week, then they have the authorization to wait. As long as you have the receipt notices, they have the authorization to wait until USCIS makes a decision on that I-4 539. One of them is here for medical treatment, so I'm just trying to understand whether this would affect my ability to file for their green cards once. And it should not. Generally, it should not. It's soothing the way you're helping. Thank you. What happens when your U.S. spouse has a felony, but you didn't know, and he refuses to let you know? Will that affect your vacation? Will that affect your... do you mean would that affect your VAWA case? Is that what you mean? I don't want to say your name. If that's what you mean. My son. Oh, that's my baby. That's my boys in my life. That's my baby. That's baby TJ. Of course, it's not a baby, but yeah, that's my baby. But anyway, okay. Let's. I think I be in. Have baby on my B1 and got Medicaid and I'm married. Will that affect me? Because you're applying for adjustment status means you're subject to public charge rule, and what you've got, the I-45 specifically asks if you've applied for what benefits you've applied for. So you've got to be truthful, because if you are not truthful, that's information they can pull up. Whether or not it's going to make you inadmissible depends on the benefits you received and whether it is considered public. It's going to subject you to being a public charge. When in doubt, just don't apply for any benefit. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, PAD. Appreciate that. Work authorization is expired, and I'm still waiting for my renewal. Same time, my driver's license expires and I refuse to renew my case. So, what's your question? Just filed a VAW case and I didn't get an advance parole from the marriage base. When can I file for advance parole on my VAW petition? As long as you submitted an I-485, then you can. Let's see. If one files for VAW, are they able to work and travel? VAW petition doesn't allow you to work and travel. You're filing a green card application, an advance parole, and work authorization. Then when they're approved, allows you to work and travel, not the VAW petition. Miss Ellis, yeah, I said they need to see that video. That's the answer right there. Yeah. Okay. When is the next visa bulletin? It's going to be sometime in February, probably most likely the second week in February. Let's see. Can you file asylum for my husband who came in 2023 December? I need your contact. 334-341-4475. He's going to have to set up a paid consultation. He can do that by calling that number, or he can go on our website, @llawfirm.com, or send a message and someone will respond with the details of the consultation, but we'll be glad to evaluate his case and represent him potentially. Mr. Ben, what's that? Are you trying to be a Yoruba girl again? Can your wife, who is a U.S. citizen, file for my daughter who is above 18 years old? If your wife is a U.S. citizen and you got married to your wife before your daughter turned 18, but she's still less than 21, then your wife can file for her as a stepchild. If that marriage did not happen before your daughter turned 18, then she's not considered a stepchild, and she will not be able to file for her unless your wife now adopts your daughter, which gets even more complicated. Is it possible for someone who has lived in the United States for over 2 years to file for an asylum? You're required to file for asylum within the first year of entry. There's exception to that in the sense of if you have facts to support, circumstances outside your control, changing your personal circumstances, changes in your country conditions, you've got to be able to articulate the reason why you're filing outside a 2-year period. So it is possible, but there's that caveat to it. Thank you, Ms. How much will it cost for my husband to do asylum if you were to do it? He just came in. Yeah, so I think we just answered that question. I speak with my face. I know. Yeah. I think as a mom, if you're a mom here, you know that because you find yourself in places where you can't say anything, but you have a look, you communicate with your kids. Especially if you're African or Caribbean, we know how back in the day mothers would, if you're in public, they won't say a word, but just look at your mother's face. You would get the message, kind of thing. I'm waiting on my green card, but on my work permit need extension of 8 months from DMV, but I received 8 years card from DMV. What does that mean? I cannot answer a question from DMV. That's not an immigration question. How can I change status apart from marriage from F1 OPT with the new F1 policy? The new F1 policy, if you're referring to them, USCIS is coming out to explain that or clarify that if you are on F1, you've got an immigrant petition that you're the beneficiary of, it's not going to, not going to be penalized. If that's what you're referring to, it's not anything about you. Dual intent is not something you apply for. They're just clarifying that. Unlike in the past where we said we may penalize you, but now we're going to make it similar to an H-1B situation where you can have an F1 and at the same time have an immigrant visa petition concurrently, and we would not penalize you for that. That's what that policy is about. It doesn't give you anything as far as being able to apply for anything specially. After canceling the attending asylum, can I travel back and forth my country without issues? Meanwhile, first someone to you, can't wait for your magic touch. Okay, thank you. When you cancel your asylum case, you cannot just travel back and forth. The reason is you don't want it. I always say, it's, in spite of not getting your green card through asylum, you want to be careful, because the fact that you not have a green card and you no longer need the asylum case does not mean that you don't want to USCIS to conclude that you filed a frivolous asylum application. And so it's always the best not to go back to your home country, at least not my ticket there, until you're a citizen. Because once you now apply for citizenship, then they're going to pull up all your records. And you know, they know how to pull up every record, travel record, everything. And no wonder, oh, so if, even though you got your green card through marriage or employment, whatever the case may have been, so does it mean you filed a frivolous application because you said you were afraid to go back, but now you've gone back to the same country you claimed you were afraid to go back to? Yeah. Does the 2-year marriage rule for vow conditional green card count as at when the vow was submitted, or as at when the vow case is being reviewed? You don't have to deal with having a conditional green card with vow. If you were married for 1 second or 10 years, everybody gets a 10-year green card. It doesn't matter if your marriage was less than 2 years, more than 2 years. That doesn't change. That's one of the great things about VA. It does not take into consideration the length of the marriage. Once your case is approved, you're getting a 10-year green card. I hope that answers your question. Okay. All right, people. I think we got to most questions, if not all. Yeah, I think we did. I called last week, no response. Where did you call? Because that's one of my pet peeves. If you called us outside of work hours, no one's going to pick up a call unless we had our answering service there. But if you called during normal business hours and you called us directly, not on WhatsApp or social media, then please give us a call back. And if you want to email my assistant, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 llc@gmail.com, and we can look into that and with your number and find out what went wrong, because I hire and fire people because you ain't got, obviously nobody's perfect. Sometimes someone may be at lunch or something. But if you are looking to discuss your case, then it's best to just go on our website and schedule your consultation through that. That's just the easiest and fastest way. Because if you call, which we appreciate, we're still going to have to direct you to your website or text you the link to go schedule a consultation. I don't offer free consultation. This is the free. And this week in particular, so many people called claiming to be a current client. The one that still takes the cake is the one that said my mom was the one who referred them. But there's just no way around it. You're going to pay for consultation. There's just no way around it. That's what it is. Thank you, Finest Jenny. They refuse to renew the driver's license because the work authorization expire. What should I do? You're going to have to wait to get your work authorization. Can a U.S. citizen marry her baby daddy she had a kid with previously? And there's nothing that says you can't. Nothing that says you can't. Is it okay to call USCIS on phone? Yes. If you have a VA case, you won't get any information over the phone, though. Okay. All righty. Okay, people. How can we get NBC to book a visa appointment urgently? I-130 has been approved and necessary documents submitted. And have you been documentary qualified? If so, send them a request to expedite with evidence why you're requesting an expedited processing. And if it meets the standard, then they may grant that expedited request. Can divorce my husband affect my children papers? Husband is a permanent resident. I-130 was approved. Can divorce my husband affect my... I don't understand your question. Vow was denied based on abandonment of my case. I went 5 letters to USCIS but refused to respond to my letter. I think I met with you before. I think so. Or you've asked this question, or we had a consultation. And I think I may have advice for you to do a FOIA. So you keep repeating the question, doesn't change anything without taking action. And that's still the same question and response. You're going to have to do a FOIA. USCIS is not going to respond to you, especially if the time frame for filing an appeal or motion has passed. I think you and I had a consultation. It's 30 minutes, strictly 30 minutes consultation. It is not 31 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're going to need more time, then do 45 minutes or 1 hour. 30 minutes, I'm off the Zoom because for the most part, I have back-to-back meetings. So I'm not going to take into someone else's time. Thank you, Fanny Shandy. All right, people. Okay, I'm glad we were able to get through quite a number of questions. Obviously, there's always going to be more questions. But let me leave you with this. Let me leave you with this tonight. And I was driving home, heading to Tia's game. And, it was just a beautiful evening. And I was thinking, in my head, I was like, okay, what's my plan for tomorrow? We all plan. And it just occurred to me, and obviously that's every day, but it just occurred to me, especially tonight, that it's amazing how, and I was thinking of what, the questions coming up and all, but I was thinking of the live, and how very impatient we all are. Raise your hand if patience is not your strongest attribute. Yeah, I'm still learning. But when we plan, and I was thinking, I'm planning for tomorrow, I'm planning for Thursday, I'm planning to schedule, meeting with clients and all that. The only reason why I'm able to plan ahead is because I have faith that God is going to keep me to be able to see those days and do those things that I plan to do. So and how is that possible? That basically is possible because we have the faith. We have the faith that God is able to keep us alive. The Bible says the number of our days he shall fulfill. So we have the faith that we'll see those days in order to fulfill and to achieve that which we have planned. So if we're able to have faith enough that we will see that day, if we're planning a wedding 5 months from now, whatever, if you have the faith that you will see that day and you're planning even before you see what's going to happen tomorrow, why would we not, with everything that we have, trust God completely that which concerns us, that we cannot see the outcome, that is going to work out in our favor? It's the same level of faith. It's the same level of faith to know, because God is the one who gives us the ability to project into the future, not knowing what it's going to bring, but resting solely on him to keep us alive to see that. As long as he keeps us alive, then the same faith carries into everything else that we want him to do. We don't have to see it, but we've got to make plans towards it, acting as if it has already happened. So no matter how long these things take, which can be frustrating, the one thing that doesn't change is having faith that God is going to complete that which he has started. If we have faith that tomorrow is going to be, then let's have faith that God is going to see us through the very end of all that we have put in his hands.